Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei. It is the quarterfinals. Taipei Assassins are 1-0 up over Avant Garde in what was a very one-sided match. Of course, if you have just joined us, we've already seen the Bangkok Titans going down. They lost out to the Yowie Flash Wolves. I can never get that name right. Or I should just say Yowie. I should just think of Ocelots, shouldn't I? That's what I should think of. Yowie alongside me. Speaking of Yowie, here is Yowie. Yo, Miller. Miller. And also joining us is, of course, myself, Elcam, a.k.a. Dexter, formerly of Counterlogic Gaming, North American Jungle. So what do we make of this last one? Obviously, very one-sided game. Just actually looking at a couple of the Australian casters' views and Obscura, who's always out there commentating on these things. Basically talked about Rek'Sai being a big part of that deal. You know, the fact that they managed to get that open, in fact that it got through. Mm-hmm. Clearly we saw Avant Garde obviously putting a lot of focus on getting that casted in the first rotation. Should they have allowed the likes of Rek'Sai through? They went for Jarvan, of course. Remember, they had Jarvan and casted in the first rotation, whereas TPA went for Janna, actually, I believe.
Yeah, Janna first pick was actually a better, like the best choice, and we see it all the time in OGN and LPO why Janna is picked most of the time. And yeah, she was actually playing a really big role in that advantage and snowball in mid lane. When they caught the Jarvan in the mid lane at the little tribe rush thing at blue buff, that allowed Xavi actually to snowball the lane really hard. And obviously Rek'Sai just dominated the jungle from that point because Jarvan was so far behind. And yeah, just one little mistake pretty much cost him the game and snowballed completely out of control. But they're obviously much better than their opponent. There's not much to do about that. And yeah, I mean, the champions for both teams were actually pretty good, I think. Like, both teams got what they wanted. But yeah, the execution was just not there.
Yeah, they need to have, it's all well and good. I think you even said at the end of picks and bans, the start of the game, that you actually thought Avant Garde maybe even won the drafts process. So that makes it a little bit more tricky for them if they come in there with a better lineup but still not able to get off. And it just went across the board really not well for them. And yeah, newly formed team, not having the players that they might want to have really had with them going to Taipei. It's tough. It's a tough position to go in, especially I think if you're from like the Oceanic region, or to be fair, any region that sends just one team to a tournament, you're going to have a lot more pressure on your back, and people are going to be, I think, watching you with a closer eye.
I mean, you've got to think of, obviously, the difference in class between the two regions. Like, Taipei Assassins have had a gaming house for 3-4 years now. That's a well-oiled machine of an organization that's been running these tournaments for a very long time. They've dominated their own region. They've done very well. They've had a couple of challenges from AHQ and the likes. Whereas you look at Avant Garde, I don't believe they're in a gaming house together. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're not. They're probably a couple of guys that are actually just good at League in their region that have like clubbed together online via whatever communications you use, and suddenly obviously they're doing an offline tournament like this, so that they just don't have the experience, I don't think, to be involved. They've probably been, I mean, I know for a fact, obviously the two bottom lane, the duo pairing is brand new. They had Nada last year, who was in there, who was a Korean exchange student, actually, was their AD carry and did very well for them. But he's gone back, I believe, to Korea now. So suddenly they're having to pick up this new bottom lane. And clearly it's showing, that the inexperience in the team to come up against effectively the number one team in the tournament, you are going to get wrecked. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, when I played Worlds actually in 2013 back then, we actually matched up against SKT2 and we got completely destroyed, even when Europe was a developed region.
Yeah.
Those teams are that much better at what they do and how they approach the game. And I think it's good for like the overall infrastructure, and like the Oceanic region is just kind of growing right now, which is like, look at Turkey, for example, like DP. They got a lot of experience and they actually took like some games off in the World, and Kaboom, Brazilian, I mean, they beat Alliance in Worlds. So it's very important for those like wildcard regions kind of to start growing, and those tournaments are, even when they're being stomped, it's like fairly good for the growth of the competitive scene.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you look at Avant Garde, let's not write them off yet. They have still got a chance of coming back into this one. It's a very slim chance at best, I think I'm saying. But they can go back to Australia, go back into the Oceanic region. The league's going to be kickstarting, I think, probably this week, actually. and then suddenly we're like, okay, we really know we are still behind. We need to improve, and maybe it's just going to give them the appetite to go on and do that. I hope it doesn't suddenly dishearten them. Just think, well, we are awful. Let's just give up. I hope they don't go and do that because they are up against a team that's looking pretty solid here in TPA.
I mean, we're talking about a region that's not had their own server up until pretty recently.
I don't even think it's a year old yet.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe
around just
that,
about, yeah.
But I mean, of course, that region's gonna be less developed than the Taiwanese guys, TPA in this case, that have been playing right from the very start of things. And it's great now that, servers are there, their own pro leagues coming around, and things will slowly but surely start to develop. If you look in the back there, you can actually see the Intel Extreme Masters trophy, which has been hidden.
Yeah,
by lots of people.
Moscow 5's name on that one. I'm trying to think whether teams will have won it through the years. Gambit, of course. Moscow 5 and Gambit won there twice.
Yeah.
Same players, different organisation through the years. Also, it was KT Bullets last year, that managed to take it away. Solid performance. Ryu, of course, now playing in the EU LCS. Who'd have thought that? Like last year, the Korean teams, Korean players would be in the European LCS. Obviously, they've been looking to go to North America, but I distinctly know that a certain Riot caster called Deficio has been screaming out for Korean players to finally join the EU LCS. So, what do you make of it, Dexter? Obviously, yourself as effectively a free agent right now. What do you make of these Koreans coming in and taking your job?
Well, he did it to North America.
He did it to North America,
I was in the same position like 1 year ago.
Yeah.
But, I don't know if it's actually good for the infrastructure. Like it all depends on how well the organization can fit in those Koreans. Obviously, Fnatic they don't really have that big of a problem because Rainover speaks like perfect English. So they
effectively brought translator in themselves for the.
Yeah, he even said that he's translating stuff to their top lane and then he's translating back to the team. So that's working out really good for them. And then I'm not quite sure how about Horo for MYM. I mean, obviously they're just in last place right now and the mid laner leaving plays a big part in that, obviously, because I think that before that they were actually like a top 5 team, but right now we just have to see how Horo works out. Or I'm not sure, like Piglet, for example, in the North America, like even Xpecial said that it's gonna be hard, and I didn't hear a lot of positive things about Piglet like coming into the team because even the like Liquid, the owner, said it's gonna be really hard for like the language barrier, and they just have to see how they can fit them in with like translations and it all depends. Like in the end, it all depends on the organization, how good they build an infrastructure for like a Korean thing and like how they have a translator ready and. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
You look at like Lost Boy at TSM. Obviously, you've already got
Loco
Doku in there.
Role,
who plays a great role in it. So obviously they've got the coach alongside him. Whereas looking at that Pignet role, I distinctly remember when probably 2 weeks after he joined, literally the team were tweeting out like any translators around the Santa Monica area. And it's just like, wow, this really wasn't very well planned. So it seemed like an opportunity that they grabbed the player obviously when they needed them. It's really weird to see how it goes. And going back to, obviously, the jungle role yourself, obviously, we're looking at the likes of Santorin, who effectively came out of the blue. He was playing in the Challenge European seed, went over to, was it Coast he was with? I can't remember the Challenger team. With the Coast. And then suddenly he's like TSM. How do you make it like the European junglers? Because European junglers seem to just go to America and suddenly be the top dogs.
To be fair, Santorin was like the only choice for TSM pretty much because he was grandfathered in. So either they drop Last Boy or Bjergsen to get another jungler, or they look for North American talent. And I'm not sure about like North American jungle talent. I think Thinkard right now is probably pretty good, but back then he wasn't really that good. So it was very, very hard for them to actually find someone who could replace them. So
because Bjergsen will be classed as American technically
soon
in the summer,
in the summer, so they can actually get more players than.
So we'll keep your eyes peeled on that one. We'll see how that situation works.
TSM Flame.
TSM Flame. I mean, what's going on with yourself? You still looking for challenger teams out there, LCS teams? I mean, you had opportunities, and I know obviously we had the same situation with Crepo. It's like out there. I know he had a lot of opportunities, but were you in the same boat? Just like, I want to be in a team, but I want to be in a team that's going to challenge for Worlds.
When I left CLG, I just felt that I need a bit of a break to just see where I am and like how I find it out. And right now I'm actually playing a lot again, and look, like I had the chance to have my own team in LCS pretty much with my own players, and I could have chosen it kinda. So if I wanted to play LCS, I could have done it. I also could have done like challenger scene, and I got like some offers there to play, but I didn't really feel ready to play yet because I felt a bit burnt out, so I just needed some time for myself to regain my strength.
Rediscover your love for the game.
Yeah, pretty much. And right now, I told you before that right now I have like withdrawals from league.
You want to go play, yeah.
Yeah, after this is done, I'm just going to go straight into solo queue and play some games. But no, I actually want to play again, and I actually get a lot better like in a short period of time right now. So I'm getting to the level again where I actually feel that if I play like correctly and have the right environment, that I will be like top 3 in my position again. So I just have to see how it works out, because you never know where the opportunity arises. I mean, it could be that I won't play this split at all, or next split, maybe I will play Challenger, I don't know yet. I just want to see how it works out and how well I do for myself to like judge it. And yeah, maybe the right opportunity comes along, and then I'm pretty much in the same boat as Crepper right now, where I just wait it out and see how seasons progress. And I have the luxury pretty much of choosing 2 regions, because I'm grandfathered in, so I can just join any North American team in case I want to do a roster change. But yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to play Challenger Series too if the right offer and the right people are there, yeah.
And how do you feel with the changes? Obviously, we've had a lot of league changes. I know a lot of players were very vocal about the spring split, obviously, because it kind of didn't mean a lot. You obviously got through the system. It's a case of getting through to the summer, because the summer was what it counts. Obviously, spring means a hell of a lot now. So, obviously, a lot of players were like the same position you're in. They're like, well, the spring's not so important. As long as they can get in a team by the summer, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
But now, you know, you get in a team in the spring, you go and do well in the spring, you're in Worlds.
It depends. I mean, I really, really like the qualification for the 3rd spot, where they go, okay, it depends on how many points you have, and then you just do the double elimination thing, kinda. So I really like that change. It is really, really good. And Riot did probably like the best job that they could do with like how they distribute world spots, because winner of summer instantly goes to worlds, really, really good. The second high, like the first spot, the first seed of points get to the worlds, and then you have a qualification for that. So that's probably like the best system that you could get along with, and I really like it. So even when you join the summer split, you can still go to worlds. But it's going to be tough, because you have to win the summer split to win. And if you're not in summer, like in the split, it's really, really hard to points to actually play the qualifier, because all the teams that have placed like top 5 or something and like twice, they were probably in the qualifier, and you won't be there. So yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense, but it's going to be hard. I mean, I was part of it too when I played in Lemon Dogs. We came out of nowhere and went to Worlds.
Yeah.
It would not be possible anymore right now for us if we would have joined the league right now, probably.
You don't think a challenger team could come through? Obviously, they got the auto promotion now. You don't think they could come through and just bomb break in there like Cloud9 did as well?
I think the scene is too developed to actually do that. And even when you have like good challenger teams, LCS teams always have more resources to use. So right now, it's really, really hard to actually do that.
Well, we'll see how it works out. Of course, keep your eyes peeled on the LCS, but right now we are at the Intel Extreme Masters in Taipei, and pick and bans are underway for game number 2. Let's get them on your screens. Of course, Taipei Assassins this time standing out as the red team, so Avant Garde have got the ban advantage. We'll see if it works out for them. They've gone with LeBlanc this time. No surprises. Get rid of Chow, his champion. He went 15-0-8 in that last matchup. Azir and Rek'Sai has been taken away by them. Rommel and Zed being taken away by TPA so far.
Yeah, and the thing is, Chow, if you look down his games from LMS, Kassadin, Lissandra, Azir, LeBlanc, he's playing pretty much anything in that mid lane. So we'll see with LeBlanc and Azir taken away from him. Mundo was the last ban net for TPA as well, so obviously not wanting Porky to get his hands on that, but
it's the same bans
leaves
for TPA.
Gnar open completely. And the likes of Janna, which of course we saw prioritizing in the first game.
There's so much stuff open, and yeah, you have Janna, you have Jarvan, you have Sivir. Yeah, lots of stuff, but I agree. Like, now is probably a very safe top pick right now, and it's first pick worthy for sure. Irelia is open too, which was banned last game, I think.
No, it was picked by Porky. Porky played it.
Oh, never mind, yeah.
Yeah.
It's late already, it's 8.
It's early already.
It's early, yeah. The sun is going up.
People are going to start coming in and going, oh, you guys, you're in early. It's like, yeah, we really are. If you have just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, we have been here for 4 hours already. It's just turned 8 a.m. here in German time, Central European time, whichever you'd prefer to call it. But yes, Lissandra is open. Looks like we're going to have Na locked in. And of course, that could mean we see Lissandra, Jarvan available in there as well, with Rek'Sai banned out, almost certainly going to be the fallback.
Really good picks, because right now, even if the enemy... Janna's open, like that's Kassadin. Both solo lanes locked in, so that means they are pretty much set on the solo lanes, but they're both flex picks still. So we have to see how actually Avant chooses to pick their solo lanes. Or the mid lane. Janna is really good.
Yeah.
Or Sivir.
Keep hovering over Gangplank, but I don't think we're going to be seeing Gangplank coming in. We'll see about that one though, but Janna, at this stage, take that one away. Maybe just completely steal away that bottom lane, because you know obviously that these solo laners are in there. Jungle is probably another, at this stage, important choice for you. Unless that Gangplank's for the jungle, you know. Beastie Gangplank. Where does Gangplank rate on your jungle tier list?
I don't know about that one.
Is he on the list? Maybe it's a Blitzcrank jungle. I don't know.
Rengar jungle, okay. That's interesting.
Well, we'll see, of course.
Okay, there we go. Lee Sin, even when Jarvan is open. I don't agree with the Lee Sin pick here. I think they should just pick the way Jarvan, because Lissandra and Jarvan together are just too damn good. Even against the likes of Janna. It's just too much potential to just completely snowball the game. But maybe he feels confident on Lee Sin.
Well, they didn't want to risk breaking the 100% win rate of the Na Jarvan combo, so they felt they best let the TPA have that one away. But of course, you know, Lissandra Jarvan combo, as you said, is just as deadly. Nami going in there, well, you're not going to get out of that. That's a lot of CC and AoE lockdown, yeah.
A lot of zone control, so the AD carry will probably just be Corki at this point again, because that's all they have been playing, Corki against Sivir. But yeah, both comps are pretty good again. I mean, well, it's hard to say.
You got Avant Garde going with the heal shield combo that we've seen throughout the night, it seems. Question is, will they lock it in? It looks like they will finish off. They've got 30 seconds to choose, so there's still a lot of discussions going on between the team, but it's not a bad combo from Avant Garde, but then again, we said that in the last match.
We said that last game, and we saw how that turned out. Yeah.
I mean, it's the usual case, right? That picks and bans only get you so far. Like, obviously, you could put SKT or any top world team against a team of Joe Millers, and I could have literally the 5 most OP things in the world, and I would still get my ass handed to me. So
singed in one range, Gangplank in the other.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it just wouldn't work out. I'm not saying that the skill difference is quite that apparent in this game, but we saw from game number 1 that TPA clearly the stronger of these two teams. Was Sivir and Lulu that were locked in there, so mid lane Lulu once again. And what are they going to finish off with here? Looking for maybe
Tristana.
Yeah, AD carry.
Tristana sees a lot of play across all regions right now, and she's actually getting reworked. So we have to on 5.2, I believe. So, but she's a very popular pick right now, because just her 2 item scaling is very, very dangerous, like Shiv IE combo, which actually got nerfed too. But yeah, I believe Tristana is still a really top tier pick right now, across all regions pretty much, with Sivir and Graves and Kalista probably, once she is enabled. So yeah, picks and bans are locked in.
Once again, another very mobile team from both sides, but TPA, they have so much dive potential, it's kind of scary.
I like both team comps, but well, we just have to see how the early game works out. And we see the Nami actually not quite as good in the roam potential as Janna. But yeah, TPA just has a better jungle mid lane synergy, which we saw last game, and actually helped Xavi completely snowball mid lane. But I wouldn't be surprised to see the same thing again, where just the support and jungle roam into the enemy jungle, get complete control, and from there they just snowball the bot lane. That's pretty much what you want to do in this team composition.
TPA as well, got a beastie all-in team that if you get anything close to as far ahead as they did in the first 10, 15 minutes of that last one, that you're just going to do it over and over and over again, and you'll be kind of too far ahead for them to actually do anything. But saying that, Avant Garde, I'm going to be the hopeful person in the room, you know. Best of 3, maybe what they've talked about in the possible half-time or first third, I guess you could say, break. Maybe they've got something up their sleeve and can come back. Positive thoughts, everyone.
I can think of a few things that Australians would say in between a break, but I don't think it would be. It's possible we could come back, mate. I think we got this, guys. Making friends with all the Australians.
You're getting tweets about them.
I'm English. English Australia are allowed a bit of banter in it. But they're going to have to put a couple of shrimps on the barbie for this one, no doubt about it. Any more I can come out with? No, I don't think so.
There's plenty.
Let's get into the game. We are, of course, the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei. It is Avant Garde starting out as the blue team. They are up against the Taipei Assassins as the red, and they are 1-0 down. Let's give you a quick roster rundown before things get underway. For Avant Garde, it is Porky on Na, Chelby on Lee Sin, Kenster, or apparently he likes to be known for his real name, but we're going to keep calling him Kenster.
I think that was Lulu. A troll tweet.
I'm pretty sure it might be. Mazui on Siva and Junie on Janna.
Junie on Janna. That should be interesting. And, of course, for TPA on the red side, we have Morning in the top lane on Lissandra. Wins in the jungle on Jarvan the 4th. Cassidy in mid lane for Chowie, who was a beast in game 1. Lupin, who wasn't far behind him by the ending kills either. This time playing Tristana. And, of course, Jay on the fish playing Nami here. So let's see how this one all goes down. Looks like we're going to be seeing standard lanes once again, with both AD carries and support going to be on that bottom side of the map. Jarvan actually starting his blue side, as we will be seeing on the other side of the map as well. So pretty much a mirror.
So yeah, what Tristana's gonna do there right now is gonna pull the wave. So in case the lane swap happens, she actually prepares the wave, because that's what you have to do. You have to pull the creeps to make sure that you actually get the lane pushing towards you. That's what you wanna do. But just fairly standard lanes right now, fairly standard start. Both junglers start blue buff. Probably gonna recall after the 3rd camp and pick up a Trailblazer like last game and farm it through.
Well, there is that kickoff for the bottom lane. And what is going to happen when they actually get to lane? Jay already kind of taking position up inside of that brush. And we see that Kenster and Chowie going to be dishing out some pain, mostly Kenster at this point, with those auto attacks, constant pressure. But you see that Chowie can give quite a lot back as well there, so we'll see how that lane actually develops and how Wins and Shelby are going to get involved with that one. And this could actually be interesting down the bottom. There's a jump in from Lupin. He's not messing around here. Junie going to go low. One more auto attack, I think, could actually do it at this stage. Jay could even flash Ignite onto to Junie, and I think they'd be able to finish him off. They need to be careful how long they stay here.
Yeah, we do. Mazui still has that heal, but yeah, wow. I don't think Junie was quite expecting the aggression from Lupin there. Just trying to show him who's boss straight away, jumping in there. That's got, of course, that explosive shot on. Remember Tristana, predominantly the weaker lane to begin with, but at the moment they're being shown who's boss.
Yeah, it just shows how much like this early level 2 pop in the bot lane gives you the advantage. Like every team wants to do like hit level 2. As a good bot lane player, you know the timing of when you hit level 2, how many creeps you need, and then you communicate, yeah, okay, I'm gonna hit level 2 on this creep, and then we're gonna jump in, which we just saw, because they knew the opponents will not hit level 2, and just having the spell advantage really, really helps you out, and can potentially win the complete lane, even if you're playing in a really bad matchup.
Well, so far so good down there. Slight CS lead for Lupin. And he continued to dish out a little bit of pain. Certainly got the advantage when it comes to health. This mid lane, already talked about it a little bit before, but it is Chowie that's still doing the better job, funnily enough. Not really being bullied away too much by those constant auto attacks that have been thrown out there by Kenster. Meanwhile, if you look at the minimap there, we see Lee Sin is coming down onto the bottom lane. Let's see if he can actually get involved.
Well, he's going to try and get on there. You can see him flash away from Jay already used along with the heal. But look at that, Lupin jumping in. That may well be the death of him. The exhaust well on point there. And that will be the kill. Jay's going to go down as well. It's a double kill for Junie. Not ideal, But you can't argue. They've got the first 2 kills on the board.
Yeah, what Lee Sin did, he actually did choose not to recall and gank bot lane instead, and I suppose that TPA's bot lane did not expect the timing on that gank.
Well, we do have Wins holding on strong around the side there. Porky is going to back away. He can just bounce away from that one. No problem there. Actually going to turn around and put some damage back on Wins as well. They haven't pushed them on too much on the tower. Wins will just walk away from that one. So TPA not starting off too strongly here. Yeah. Maybe, just maybe, there's a chance for Avant Garde.
Yeah, Wins actually got a lot of good deep wards into the jungle, and the top side is going to be safe for like at least 3 minutes right now. What the Lee Sin should do in this case, he should actually abuse his advantage, the double longsword advantage over the Jarvan, and try to one-on-one him, because that's like a really, really good way to shut down ganks and potential coming back into the game. So Lee Sin should be able to do whatever he wants. He can invade every single side of the game, and him and Jen are actually doing a lot better this game. I really like what they're doing right now in comparison to last game. Just roaming around, trying to catch the enemy jungler, get really deep wards into the jungle, and make sure that your solo lanes are safe.
Well, that's just it. You look at TPA's team lineup, while they did dominate last game, they have got a later game comp than Avant Garde. So if Avant Garde can bully them as hard and fast as they can possibly do, Chowie pretty low here. I'm wondering whether Kenster's going to let him go back or whether he's just going to walk in and try and pull him. Yeah, Lee Sin is coming around behind him, as is Junie. Junie there as well to support. But, oh, Chowie got caught. Hallinger not going to quite knock him out. And he will get away safe.
That was quite impressive, actually, from Chowie there. Managing to stay alive through all of that. 3 men coming in. Nice from Wins as well to be there at the right time in the right place. So, what I wanted to look at here is just a bit of a comparison to game number 1, where all 3 lanes were basically getting destroyed when it came to farm. This time around, it's in some places a lot closer. In fact, you see mid lane, slight lead there for Lulu. Bottom lane is pretty much bang even. Top lane, we're still seeing Morning actually winning out on that one, but this is definitely closer than we saw in game number 1. In fact, there's nearly 1,000 gold lead at this point for Avant Garde after those 2 kills.
Yeah, the bad part is that both kills are on the Jenna, and the Jenna, I mean, obviously she has the side stone and could snowball her advantage she kind of got through vision, but if Lee Sin would have get those 2 kills or even silver, then this game could actually like be decided by that 2 kills.
We'll see if it works out that way. We are seeing once again a bit of back and forth between the bot lane. Lupin going to try and force them back. Has gone for the Avarice Blade early on, so we'll see whether he turns that into a static shiv first item or whether he's just going to sit there because he's fell behind, needs to get that gold ticking away.
Yeah, he knows that the lane is kind of like, he has to actually make like use of his late game potential. So what you want to do, you want to sit on that Avarice Blade and get to your 2 item power spike faster that way, because you generate a lot more gold through that as opposed to the Infinity Edge Rush.
Well, we'll see if Jarvan can get down there and maybe add a few extra gold to that one. For now, it's all on the other side. Pickaxe start, of course, from Mazui, which is going to give him a lot more power in that lane itself, but they've been playing things fairly passively, to be honest. In fact, they've been aggressed upon most of the times. We obviously, when they hit level 2, Lupin just diving straight in there. This mid lane also has somewhat slowed down. Chowie picking himself up. The Catalyst, the Protector, obviously moving to Rod of Ages, and a Chalice on the other side there for Kenster. So, should be, with those 2 first items, fairly passive lane. Obviously a bit of harassment in there, but shouldn't be any kills, certainly without any big jungle pressure. And that top lane, of course, a similar thing. Hex Drinker start actually for Porky. First Nara I think that we've seen today that's actually gone the Hex Drinker route. Yeah,
just matching what he's up against, of course, Morning on that Lissandra, who hasn't made any plays just yet. We'll see how it works out. He's obviously got that teleport. Lissandra ganks can be deadly if the wards are in the right place. Ping's going down. Tribush ward covered out in the bottom. Chowie taking a bit of fairy dust, I think it's safe to say, in the face from the Lulu in that mid lane. Pretty passive start here, other than that early ganks, but it's to be expected. TPA are on that late game. They just want to get that farm on, just get their thing going. They are starting to go for a couple of deep wards, though. Wind's coming round with Jay. They're actually going to find... Oh, Jay will be caught out there. Wild Growth should be enough to keep him alive. No, they jump on him. Chowie gets himself his first kill of the game. Teleport gang coming in. Wins is taken low. He's going to get picked off. Now we see Porky coming around the side. Morning locking up. That's going to be Kenster going down as well. There's another. Suddenly a double kill for Morning. And they're not done yet. They're going to go on to Porky, on towards the tower. One more hit. Not enough. They can't tower dive. Everyone out of mana. But, well... Talking about a slow start for TPA, there's 3 kills on the board for them.
That's what they needed to actually like pull back into the game and get control of it back, which was kind of sloppy by Shelby because he walked back into the bubble and the Jarvan combo, which he shouldn't have done, and that whole action started because of that little misplay. Both top laners used TP, whereas Na used his flash and Lysandra still has flash. So what we can see is probably Dragon control right now from TPA to make sure they snowball the lead.
Well, it brings the gold back in TPA's favour. 400 now is their lead. Let's see what they start to come back in. We can see that Lupin BF sword, so was able to move away from just having an extra gold coming his way. Morel and Omicron in the top lane. Rod of Ages as well finished there for Kassadin. So hitting the bigger items a little bit earlier because of that.
10 minutes Rod of Ages is really huge for Kassadin.
Yeah. And it's done so well to farm in that lane as well. Pretty much bang even with that Lulu despite the extra pressure. As Porky gonna go aggressive here onto Morning, but that's the... Oh, wow. Actually flashing away from that there. Was scared that Lee Sin would connect and... casting off the wrong screen again.
You can see the future.
I can see the future, guys.
You need to pause it. That's what you need to do.
You're not wrong.
No, I'm not. We're going to see TPA going in for the Dragon, though. I'll see if it works out for them. They should be taking this one, I think, with ease. Lee Sin's a long way away. Chowie's just keeping them busy in that mid lane. So let's see if he can keep them off the tower. That's going to be TPA with the first Dragon of the game. And you can see, yeah, Chowie keeps them off the tower as well. So Avant Garde tried to put some pressure on there. And it's once again falling into the control of TPA after a very good early lane phase from Avant Garde. They need to be careful they don't get sandwiched here. Wins and Jay are coming.
Yeah, this is going to be real bad news. Actually, we'll flash away there, but you can't flash the Cataclysm, and Winds will pick up that one. Lupin was taking the aggro for the tower as well. That will be all she wrote on that front. Actually, Chowie having a bit of a go there in the mid lane onto Janon. This is the big difference between these two teams. It was in that last one as well. You know, the coordination, such a good Dragon call translated straight into that push, that dive in the bottom lane. Just overall looking like the better teams. We are going to see Shelby here. He has taken far too much from this one. Nice little wild growth there at the end, but look at Chowie. I'm not sure why he's really throwing the damage the way of Kenster there rather than onto Shelby, but Shelby manages to survive that one, but look at Chowie. He's going to wait here. Not a good idea to dive over the side with Jana waiting, but Shelby almost losing his life again.
So yeah, the Dragon Call was really, really good because what the support of TPA actually did was set up the vision completely in the red area. So they knew even when Avant wants to contest the Dragon, they have full vision and control over the whole situation. So like I said, just make sure that you snowball your vision advantage in the right area, which is TPA doing, and then capitalize on like mispositioning from like Sivir, for example, at the bot lane, and then make sure that you just play it out safely. Because all you have to do is pretty much hit the 2-item power spike. You have a Kassadin who has his power spike at Zhonya's and Rod of Ages, and you have a Tristana sitting on her Everest Blade, still farming it up for the Ayat Shiv.
Well, you do see, of course, the Zeal picked up, the BF sword as well. Infinity Edge almost completed by Mousy on Sivir. Let's see whether he does manage to get that one. I'm just keeping my eye on Avant Garde's mid lane, actually. They're all heading towards the top. But Morning on Lysandra is going to be very hard to pin down. He's already backing the hell away from this one. They're not going to be able to lock on towards him, so he's going to go back and buy instead. That Morel Nomicon already picked up, of course. We'll see what he completes next. It's going to be Boots of Lucidity. Keep them cooldowns, 33.75% roughly, around about there, I think. Better just guess.
I was going to say, you did just get that.
40%.
Yeah,
he's got runes.
Boots Lucidity,
yeah.
Oh, this is... Yeah, Mazui's dead. Not even... I was looking at your screen, so I wasn't paying attention there, but again, 3-man collapse on the bottom lane. Dive underneath the tower. Able to pick it up. Looks like Avant will be picking up a tower, though. First one of the game here. That will bring the gold a little bit closer back. But Morning is again moving in, and look at the damage there that he puts onto Shelby.
They're losing the bottom tower as well. They've invested everything to get that one, and the tier 2 turret is just being left alone. They're just bullying it down. Janna's going to come around. He's not really going to protect. He's going to throw that shield on for a brief moment, but Lupin's going to stick around, and that is just a straight solid push from TPA. They just went and took both towers down.
Yeah. Not exactly the best decision making there. I think, yeah, they managed to get that top tower down, but they lost a kill down bottom, and that automatically means then that they lose a tower afterwards. And actually did see Lulu back away from this mid lane. Janna had come across this time though, so they were able to stop anything pushing back. And this is, for me, always a weird scenario which makes me scratch my head a lot. They send 2 men up top, they take the turret down, and then they instantly recall with a wave pushing against them and end up losing their turret straight away.
And TPA already moving in. They're obviously with the timing, they're just like, well, Blue Buff's going to be spawning in a moment. Let's get some ward coverage down there. They've taken the top turret down, they've secured that, and they're starting to just take control of Avant Garde's jungle. Well, Avant Garde, they were trying to group. They were trying to figure out, okay, Dragon's a little while away. They're just out of position at the moment, whereas TPA clearly have a solid game plan.
Could be even working towards that middle turret as well. If we look at that, I mean, bottom lane's down to the inhib turret. Top lane still got it in. Mid lane is pretty much the juicy target right now. Is still, you know, the outer tower to take down. We have to feel that that's not going to take him too long, especially considering the items that we've got in here. That extra tower or two is probably going to work nicely towards Tristana's ultimate goal, getting in the Infinity Edge. Obviously, Shiv's already done, picked up a pickaxe now as well. And that's the extra kind of chunks of gold of inner towers after 16 minutes that you probably shouldn't be giving away.
So yeah, sending the Tristana mid lane with the Shiv is really, really good, because what people used to do is they have Tristana be sent mid lane, farm the lane, and then just farm the jungle. Because of the Shiv proc, you can actually manage to get your gold a lot faster.
Yeah, and
what we're seeing actually TPA doing here right now, yeah.
Putting a lot of damage on Silver as well there. That's going to force him back. Meanwhile, Chowie is pushing that bottom lane in. Remember, they already took the inner turret out, so he's just shoving that wave all the way into the inhibitor just in time. Dragon spawning in 40 seconds time, shoving the top lane, shoving the mid lane, shoving the bottom lane. Oh, Wins is going to try and get away. Shelby kicks him out there, but Wins manages to get out. And that's the mid lane turret as well. They're keeping the... Look at the bottom inhibitor turret being kept alive. Chowie just around the side. Everything is being shoved in by TPA. Perfect timing for the Dragon spawn.
Really, really nicely done. Chowie still causing them problems. Morning has now come down as well, and they need to be careful of how deep they go there. We see once again Shelby coming through. The wave will drop, but it's not to fight. He was more for the disengage there. TPA starting to move away. This could be interesting now for this next Dragon, whether they feel comfortable fighting. If a couple more crits like that happen, I think they will.
Oh. TPA is giving up the dragon. That's very good. They realized they lost the fight, and immediately Lissandra moved top lane to push in and make sure that at least a wave gets denied and potentially take a tower, which was actually TPA did the right thing. They realized they can't fight, just give up the dragon. It's only one dragon, and make sure that we get the advantage otherwise on the map. So TPA is actually looking really good in terms of like cross-map play and rotations.
Yeah, they're going to give the, like you say, the dragon across. There it is. Avant Garde will get that one. They're going to rush into that mid lane, see if they can try and make something from it. Actually, Lupin's going to be focused on pretty even duel between the two, but now we're going to see Chowie. They're trying to get in, trying to get something on towards Kenster. The rest of the team do chase on. There he goes, Shelby will give himself one kill. Don't know whether Chelsea are getting involved in this one, but TPA go 2 for 1 once again in their favor. And you know what? With all the positioning, I think they may just take this mid-inner turret as well.
Yeah, so here we just see why Kassan is such a powerful pick, especially in those situations where people just got low from objectives like Dragon. The chase potential what she has to offer, like with the slows and everything, is just way too good in some situations, and that's why he's actually being picked, like first pick most of the time.
Meanwhile, Lissandra just doing the damage to this top tower all alone. Middle tower went down. Not masses, but still be open for the taking. TPA here also getting a lot of wards in. Are they going towards Baron here? Actually, I don't think they are. There's quite a few recalls. I mean, I keep forgetting we're only actually 19 minutes into this game. Baron's not actually spawned yet.
Yeah, we've not quite got that far ahead. I mean, we had a big advantage in the last game, but still, if you were to look at the gold, it's still a 6,000 gold advantage for Taipei Assassins. Bearing in mind, this is a team with a late-game team, so with the Tristana, the Kassadin, the Lissandra in there, everybody needed those few items. They've already got them. They're there now. They're already in place. Needlessly large rods being picked up by both Morning and Chowie. They are going to suddenly start looking for fights.
So this is the point where TPA will just close out the game if they do it correctly. Lissandra gets her Zhonyas, so she can engage. Then you have the Tristana with the 2 items, and Kassadin actually gets the Zhonyas too. So the second both AP carries have their Zhonyas, it's gonna just be like a dive fest pretty much, and there's nothing really to prevent that. It's just how the comp works out and how they got advantages from the early game.
Baron spawned, everyone. Just in case you were, waiting for that to happen. And TPA pushing in top lane, mid lane, bottom lane, sat at about halfway through. As Chowie there had vision on Shelby, who was doing his red buff. Obviously, this inner turret in the mid lane is what they really want to take. That would leave Avant Garde Noah. Noah? That's German.
Good German.
That's a German word I'm using there. There is Shelby again diving in, trying to get the kickback, but we see the wave from the side. The question for me is whether Lissandra's actually going to join in this one. Decided not to use the TP, which obviously gives a massive favour at this point. There we go. He's going to start to come around, and this should be enough damage to Lee Sin that it might force them away from this inner tower. We can see that Avant Garde still sticking around, trying to poke some back on this one. They need to be very careful of a claw coming over the side.
Yeah, you can see Lissandra was, as you mentioned, waiting just off the side. Instead, it's going to keep pushing that top wave. And so far, it's been unanswered. And you can see the difference in farm that's starting to develop between Porky and Morning, the 2 top laners. Morning has just stayed there non-stop, farming, built up a 60 CS advantage already over Porky, and growing still. Porky will try and get in there. There we go. Junie locked up. Will pull out the ulti. Is it going to keep him alive? No. Chowie comes in to clean the job. Oh, wow. Looping got away with next to nothing on his health. They're going to try and chase out, but TPA, damage done. They're backing away.
Pain coming through on that one. 2 men down instantly. I don't know how Lupin even survived that one. I think one more take and he would have been finished off. And now they're going back in. Kenster is dead. Caught out completely on that one. That area might be a bit of a problem for Avant Garde. They've got caught out 2-3 times now, I think. Just trying to push out. And this turret now open for the taking. 3 men there. AD carry is going to be joining back in a second. So once that wave actually comes through, they can just strip down this tower. With still 4 men here. It's taken them quite a while, to be fair, to actually get through it, but feels like it's a case of when rather than if.
Yeah, they kept the pressure on because Siva had to go deal with someone down the bottom. Porky caught out. Oh, manages to get away. Is he going to live any longer? No, Chowie will pick up yet another. Siva had to go deal with a giant stack of minions down the bottom that was pushing the inhib turret, and now they will finally work that one down. It's been a well-worked one. They're going to get more. Junie's going down again.
Yeah, locked up instantly by Lissandra. And the rest of the burst is following straight on through. Another 2 kills for the Taipei Assassins. Still a minute on this dragon, so it looks like it actually might be a recall. That should be finishing off, the Zhonya's Hourglass for Lissandra. Probably Zhonya's there as well for Kassadin. Yep, there it is, finish off almost. Actually picking up a Negatron cloak there as well. We see Randuin's almost complete 4 wins, so again, they take another step up to another set of items, which Avant Garde just can't compete with at this turret. I mean, you look at the CS numbers across the board. Obviously, kills one thing as well. 6-1 in turrets. They're at least, in most cases, 1, if not 2 items some places ahead.
The problem is Porky's now got a problem because he's been building, obviously, heavy magic resist, as he should do against the Lissandra Kassadin. But now Tristana's starting to come into his own. He's got the Infinity Edge, the static shift. Blade of the Rune King's coming in there shortly, and he's just going to destroy the one and only tank. And we just saw it there, how quick the the jungler goes down because he hasn't built any armor either. Lupin is just going to rip them apart. TPA, they're unclean. There you go. That was prime example just how much damage is just into Porky, who gets away. Just about. No, they're not letting him go. They're going to chase him down. Yeah.
So Wins actually did something really impressive there, and The second he realized that Na was transforming into his Mega Na, he immediately cancelled the ultimate, which was very good because if he actually would have chosen not to remove the Cataclysm, the Poki could have actually get the 5-man Na ultimate into the wall from Jarvan. So very good play from Wins.
And that will actually transfer you into a Dragon.
Easy Dragon pickup for them.
Yeah, easy peasy. No problems with that whatsoever. That was the 4th Dragon or 3rd?
Second.
Or 2nd.
Oh, Joel. It's all going wrong now. We're about 8:30 in the morning, I think. Well,
I think basically this is going to happen all 3 days, but maybe get a little bit better, you know, towards the end when
I'm
we get more
expecting
used
a little wild casting, I think, by the time we have that best of 5 final.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to definitely be fun. And if you guys have just joined us, Ocelot is, of course, with us. Hopefully tomorrow we will have both these guys on here, so I don't know whether it's going to kind of be a quadcast. I'm not sure how it's going to work out. We'll see.
Yeah,
we're going to have some fun
trying
with
new
it tomorrow.
things, so why not? Maybe we can...
You did a cast with 6 people once at IEM, so
that
worked out great.
I mean, general quality of that one wasn't too high, I think.
We can do the Korean casting style maybe with 4 people.
I mean, there were too many of us that we didn't actually have anything to say because no one
really
knew
wanted
when
to
they could
speak.
actually talk.
Yeah. So I ended up talking most of the time.
I mean, that's standard, you know. Yeah.
Thank you, Joe. So, back to the game in hand. We have a 12,000 goal differential, and Baron is finally getting started off. No, Joe, you've called it again too early.
Yeah, too early.
25 minutes. They're not going for it yet.
They got a crab there as well, so that's nice, I guess, for them. It's a bonus in an otherwise...
Yeah, TPA will just wait until the crab runs out because it provides like indestructible vision, and then the second the crab runs out, they probably just attempt Baron and bait the enemies into it, and then the game should pretty much be over, like if it's played out correctly.
Look at that cheeky little flag there. Trying to bait him in.
Yeah, he tried. Like I don't think you get vision on Baron, so maybe the flag actually tries to bait them in.
Didn't work. They just went and killed their tower.
They don't care at this point.
We're not going to fall for that one. Look at this. Morning's actually behind him. He needs to be a little bit careful here. Does throw down his ultimate onto Shelby. He's running his Sonya's, but he's probably going to go down. Actually, it's Mazui that gets that kill. They're actually going to keep fighting this one, and they're just that far ahead that they could do it. Meanwhile, we are going to see Kassadin coming around the side as well. Can they lock him up? Shelby will be the first target. Mazui will fail, flash into the wall, and then gets bubbled up, which gives a reset over to Tristana. Kassadin will jump over the top. There is Jarvan joining in as well, and Lupin's going to keep going for this one. He's looking for another one. Sadly for him, there's too many towers still left around in that base. However, it might mean that this inhibitor on the top side of the map is going to be going down. It's 4 versus 2 at this stage.
Well, TPA looking riveted about their dominant play right now. We can see they are going to push in. Inhib, number 1. Tower certainly will fall down. Prolly, I was about to call him. Porky is about to come in there. Probably not quite playing anymore. Just coaching, of course. Just coaching them to victory, H2K. Or not, as the case was. I think actually they went 1-1, didn't they?
1-1.
They went 1-1, yeah, they did.
But I wouldn't consider that a win. If you remember the match.
Let's move away from that one. A win's a win. It doesn't matter whether it's given to you or not. Yeah. Well, Avant, will they go for the Baron? They're going to clear out the ping wards. I'm not sure
they might as well at this point. I mean,
or they're baiting it.
They are. Well, there's that one, death brush ward that's revealed, and the whole time they're like, plans foiled,
Could
guys.
have worked out.
Not ideal.
They're trying to set something up. They can see just above. Lee Sin sat there, Na sat there. Everybody's getting into that bush above, but TPA don't care. They're just going down the mid. They're not going for it whatsoever. They're just shoving that mid lane. Avant Garde's going to all have to back away. Oh, we're going to sweep back around to the river.
Oh, they're going to stay. Oh, they are. They're staying here. So let's see what they can do.
So they could catch out Lupin. Lupin's coming around the back. No, instead he's just going to run down the mid lane. They're just like, what?
It's like some awkward game of hide and seek.
Yeah.
It was still really, like, if the ward wouldn't have been there in the dot brush, then Evan could have actually potentially turned the game with like a really good catch in the jungle right there, but...
As it is, they've lost the Inhib turret. Yeah, called their bluff, took the Inhib turret. Inhib not going to go down though, so they haven't lost an Inhib yet. They're going to try and flank around. There's the kick. He's not going to follow the Sonic Wave through. Instead, he's in all sorts of trouble. Chowie though, he's getting caught down the side there. He's going to have to rift walk away. but there is a big wave on the top inhibitor, and now TPA go in.
Oh, following through there, but he's going to go down before he could return to safety. Meanwhile, Morning, he's thrown down his ultimate. Kensta will die. Mazui, last one left alive. He's going to be pursued and finished off there by a Lupin, and that will be an ace coming in for Taipei Assassins, and the game here as well. Surely they're going to kill off the first and the top inhibitor there, and there's still 15 seconds until the next person spawns for Avant Garde. This is going to be a 2-0.
Yeah, straight, clean, 2-0 for TPA. No doubt about it. They've been in dominant form over Avant Garde Ascension. Clearly playing a different league, and they are really, honestly, favourites for this tournament. No doubt about it. We haven't seen AHQ or Saigon Jokers yet, but TPA looking very, very strong in front of their home crowd, obviously in Taipei. Really, just overall solid play. They didn't really make any mistakes. You know, you can see sometimes with teams like that when you're so far ahead, you know, they play a little bit undisciplined. You know, just joke around a little bit. But I think overall, just solid performance. Like nobody dropping more than one death in that match.
Yeah, TPA, the fundamentals of the team actually look very good. Like how they snowball the advantage when they invade early game into the jungle, make sure they get the advantage, the vision control, and how they approach things about vision. It looks very promising actually, and I wouldn't be surprised if TPA takes this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, if you look down the scores again, Chowie and Lupin, absolutely brilliant. Wins really helping set things up. Morning was just solid throughout that entire game. Of course, the support player always goes kind of unnoticed throughout all of that. 22 assists out of 23 kills in that second
one
game.
Kill. So he was involved in 100%.
Yeah, that's true.
100% involved by Jay. So yeah, very well played. 8-1-8 for both AD and AP carries, mid and AD carry, you know what I meant. Just overall solid play, but also, you know, the jungler had 4-1-16, so he was involved in 95% of everything that happened in that game. Solid performance overall. Taipei Assassins trying to etch their name in the qualification bracket for the Intel Stream Masters World Championships, of course, which will be happening in Katowice. That's what it's all about. Can they get there? Can they get their hands on the trophy in Taipei?
Well, it's going to be a tough one still. As we said before, they will move through into the next round now to face the Saigon Jokers. Top side of the bracket. Well, it's too early. I'm just looking at my bracket. It's
Yoey Flash Wolves versus AHQ. It's a biggie, actually, tomorrow, because they played each other just last week in the league, and Yoey Flash Wolves came out on top, which actually surprised quite a lot of people, because AHQ, obviously, we saw them at Worlds, solid team overall. It's all about that man in the mid lane, really, just carrying them. Or carrying them to victory. He has been doing it in the league. Can he do it again? That's going to be tomorrow. Some big semi-finals for sure.
Yeah, going to be a really interesting one. And obviously, starting at the same time, 4 a.m. Yes, you heard that right. 4 a.m.
Central European time. It's okay for the Americans. It's good for those. Not so much for the Europeans.
No, but, you know, I think it's only fair that we should have to stay up late sometimes as well, although we just had Worlds, which was all over in
Europe's
in
getting Worlds this year as well, so Europe's got it good this year. They can't complain.
Actually.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see where that all ends up.
Yeah.
Going to be fantastic. But Intel Extreme Masters, first of all. As we said, Katowice is also on its way. I think tickets are already...
Tickets are on sale, and for League of Legends, it is the entire arena. The entire arena. So it's actually bigger than it's ever been before. If you've never been to Katowice, it is always a fantastic fantastic atmosphere in the Spodek. So I'm really looking forward to see how that all works out, because obviously we're going to expect some fantastic teams. Cloud9 already qualified, Gambit already there. So all the names you'd expect, you know, Gambit. Intel Extreme Masters is Gambit's tournament, Moscow 5's tournament. They always turn up and do well. Hey, they've just got a new gaming house, ladies and gentlemen. They could turn up to be a real world beater at there. We'll see how it works out for them.
Yeah, and just had a quick look there. The tickets are now available. Basically, it's not like a ticket sale in your normal ticket sale sense, in that you can actually... It's free entrance, so you can turn up on the door and it's free to get in. However, that means you have to queue up, and in previous years, it's been a massive queue. 45 Polish, basically, Polish zloty gets you the premium pass, which is extra days, you get better seating, you get a goodie bag and all that kind of stuff. and apparently that's around 105 euros, is 450 Polish. But if you just want, a 1-day pass is 11 euros or 30 euros for 3 days, or just turn up, get it for free. But bring warm clothing and be prepared to get there at 5 a.m.
We've had some differing weather, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, the first year we went there, it was deep in snow and freezing cold. The year after, it was actually quite sunny.
It was sunny, yeah. It was weird. Yeah. Weird. Anyway, that's all coming. That's going to be in March. We've got qualifiers there. Join us tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be back, of course, with the 2 semi-finals. That is it for us for today. It's been a long night. If you've joined us throughout the whole process, thank you very much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow for more Intel Extreme Masters Taipei.